Can you see me and can you hear me? Hi, this is Les, and I am with Cliff Dye Productions, and this is Into the Fry Zone. This is just me and my dad having a slight little gap every day. We have a unique family, and I thought it would really be neat to bring my dad in to get his perspective on things. So without further ado, I would like to introduce to you and present to others my dad, Mr. David FRYE. Hello, Dad.
Hi, Les. How are you doing?
I'm good. Why are you being so formal? It's hilarious.
I'm not used to all of this internet stuff, so you have to bear with me.
Yeah, I obviously I see and everything, but I just want you to be yourself, Dad, because you are one of the smartest people I know, and this is one of the reasons why I put you into this onto this show, and because you could give your own perspective on things. I could get your viewpoint on stuff. So were you able to reach Uncle Keith so that he can share this?
Hopefully, I hope he knows where to go to get it. I put it out there, but I'm not sure.
Oh goodness! Oh, I hope he goes to you. Would you share it to your page?
No, I'm not sure how to do that. How do I just go on Facebook?
Yeah. What I'll do, Dad, is I'll share it to your page.
All right.
And then Uncle Keith can share it to his page, or I'll try to share it to put it to Uncle Keith's page.
Please.
Oh Lord. This is what you do. What happens when you have to deal with family? Oh my goodness.
I see it.
I just shared it. Okay, I just shared it, Dad. I just shared it,
and I shared it too. So we might have a bunch of shares.
Now you have a double share. Okay, it's gonna be overkill.
Okay.
So anyway, Dad, how have you been doing? I mean, we get to talk and everything, but I mean, right now, since you work in the medical field, and by the way, you all, my father, like I said, is one of the smartest people that I know. But my father also, despite the fact that he is extremely creative, is also a pharmacist. So I know that you've been working during COVID-19, trying to get everything, working at the hospitals and stuff like that. So how's that been?
Yeah, it's been a very difficult process. I call it going to work at ground zero every day. I work at one of the largest hospital complexes in the St. Louis area, and it's been quite a run. We're now getting ready to get in the process of possibly rolling out a vaccine for the country, really, in probably the next 3 to 4 weeks, and that's what we'll probably be focusing on, getting people vaccinated.
Yeah. Now, do you all have to get the vaccination as healthcare workers? Are they making this mandatory for you all?
I believe they will. They do with the flu shot, so I'm sure that will be one of the prerequisites to keeping your job. So I will probably be one of the first ones to take it.
But Dad, what if you don't want to do it? What if you don't want to take the vaccine?
I don't know. We'll just have to see what happens when they cross that bridge, because I'm sure there's going to be some people who don't, because there's some people who don't want to take the flu shot, and they get a special something from their doctor that says that that they can't have it. So I don't know how it's going to work out. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, when I was working in the healthcare field, the people that did not have any flu shots during the time, they had to wear a mask all the time. But I mean, the mask is not protecting you from anybody else, or protecting you from anybody else, or anybody else protecting it from you. So it's going to be interesting. I don't know, Dad, though. I don't know if I want to be one of the first people to take that shot. Think about it. Both you and I have worked in pharmacy. I was a pharmacy buyer, and you are a pharmacist. You know how long it takes to perfect a drug, to make sure that a drug is actually useful for distribution. And this was rushed.
It was definitely rushed, and I guess it's just one of those things that I'll just have to take my chances with. And then at my age, it doesn't really matter too much.
Well, we have, hopefully, that they'll let it weed out a little bit before they start giving it to everybody. But first of all, the most important thing that we have to talk to people about is the fact that you have to be compliant. You have to wear your mask, and I'm not talking about below your nose. Wear your mask out in public, not to be, a whole bunch of people out in public. Please stay at home, wash your hands, sanitize your hands. You just have to be extra cautious. This this virus does exist. And I think a lot of people who have not been directly affected by it don't really, take it seriously. But I've lost a couple of friends as a result of this virus. So, please, folks, we want to make sure that we're going into 2021. And if it's at the end of 2021, that we'll be able to have this behind us. And I just don't want to have another year of this. It's just this craziness.
I think people don't realize how serious it is until they lose someone close to them. Mm-hmm. And then they realize how serious this thing is. And I think masks have always been important during any type of pandemic, regardless. People doing the research that this one is super special. But I still believe in masks. The mask helps. And I believe everyone should have a mask and continue to wear a mask, and maybe throughout the next year till we get this thing eradicated,
Yeah, exactly.
Be a new way of life, just a new way of life. That's all.
Yep. Just that's basically what it is. Is we have to just conform to a new normal. But anyway, since, we've been home and everything like that, my biggest thing is that I like to watch YouTube videos, and I go down the rabbit hole. In fact, I watch more YouTube videos, Dad, than I do probably normal TV. But the latest thing, and I'm sure that you can kind of speak to this because this is involving the music industry. So the latest controversy in the music industry is this incident that is happening with this singer by the name of Jaguar Wright. And she has basically been ousting people in the music industry. Now watching it, I have to tell you, this is alleged stuff that she's supposedly saying. Alleged. But Dad, the music industry. And rumors have been abound. In the entertainment business, rumors have been abound. So basically what she's exposing is stuff that pretty much everybody in the music industry knows about people, but she's exposing it to the public. And for whatever reasons, I don't know if she's doing it to be, if it's some kind of retaliation or something of that matter or whatever. But she is telling everybody's business. And she's selling it basically, she's getting a lot of exposure as a result of this information that she's supposedly putting out about these people. But nobody is safe. The first person that she basically put some information out was Common. And I'm not going to go into detail about what she said about Common.
Wow.
But it was bad. It was so bad that she had to apologize to Tiffany Haddish, who he is with right now. She had to apologize to her about it. I don't know. I can only just say that some of the antics that goes on in the music industry, the entertainment field as a whole, she is actually just letting it all out. The problem is, I think she's weaving truth into, I don't know, retaliation. She's weaving it into whatever stories and stuff, but it is crazy. I had a headache watching all of these videos. I couldn't stop watching them, but I had a headache. Yes. Charlene wants me to go into detail. Charlene said, please go into detail.
Well, is there anywhere you can read her commentaries?
You could go on YouTube and find these videos, but this is the thing. I would say do it with an open mind and not a judgmental mind, because this is two sides of a story. It really is. I don't know why she is doing it, But I could tell you that when she's telling these stories, when she's talking about it, she appears to be someone that's not telling a lie. Because, you know, sometimes when people tell a lie, they kind of like pause and they think of something. It's just spewing out of her mouth, just spewing out of her mouth. So one of the things is that she called out Jill Scott. She called out, you know, all these people, Puffy. And this is stuff that we know about Puffy and that we've heard about Puffy. But she's telling it. She's telling the story. And then she's exposing people that have been living like an alternate lifestyle, or portraying to be something that they really aren't, because the record company says, we don't want you to expose that about yourself, but they are that way. They are, you know, maybe they're gay, or maybe they're bi, or whatever. You know, they're living their image, but she's saying that they're something else, and she's calling it out. It is so, oof. Dad,
so telltale.
It's so, oh my gosh, it's just ugly. It's just ugly. It's ugly. And it's stuff, you know what? I have to tell you what this about the entertainment business is. You're going to find stuff that people are going to have some, you know, I mean, these are some of the people that she's been talking about, like Alicia Keys and stuff like that. You're going to find stuff about, you know, just all kinds of things about people that might be ripped from the headlines, or they may hide it. The publicists might hide it. That's being exposed. But you and I know, both being in the entertainment field at some point in our life, and me still being in it, that this stuff really actually does happen. I've seen some things. I ain't saying nothing. I ain't saying nothing, but I've seen some stuff, you know.
Yep. I agree.
I agree. And Charlene is saying that they're going to ruin her in the industry. But Charlene, she doesn't care. She does not care. She is telling this stuff, and she does not care, because right now is her moment, and she is telling everything. I will say this, and Donna, my cousin, actually exposed it, is that she's accusing Common of sexual assault. But let's just take this into perspective. She wasn't an angel herself. So it could have been that Common may have assumed that what he was trying to do to her was going to be accepted by her. It's just that, you know, she's just telling everybody's business. And this is why she had to apologize to Tiffany Haddish. Because if she's saying this about Tiffany Haddish's man, that he sexually assaulted her in some way, and she tells this, she goes into detail about what happened, and she's extremely raw about it. Like it's ugly. It's ugly. But all these kind of shenanigans go on in the entertainment business. It's just, you know, some of us know about it, you know, and we stay far about it. I will tell you that some of the things that she said about anybody getting into this business, and I think that you know, there's a story that you and I have, Dad, about me when I started having a singing career. I used to have a singing career, and yes. And my uncle, who at the time was very connected, I asked him if he could assist me. And after thinking about it, he says, no, I don't want to throw you out there like that. I had no idea what he meant until I saw it myself. And then I was like, whoo, he helped me dodge a bullet there, because I don't know if the Leslie today would be able to have been able to survive what most people who make it big in this business have to do.
That's correct.
You know, behind closed doors to make it successfully. I mean, what is your input on this, Dad? Because you're being very quiet.
Well, I'm sure this has been going around probably for ages in the entertainment field and the entertainment world, even going back to my time during the 70s when we were out there. It's just part of the work, part of the things that people have to deal with, especially women, and the things they have to go through to try to make it, you know, as the star. And I'm sure some of them have done some things that they probably would not want people to know. and vice versa. Even with some of the men or the young boys that have come up that were singing. It's just an old age thing. It's all ongoing and all the way up into the movie era of today, which
So
we all
we're
know
definitely,
about.
Dad, we're definitely keeping this PC, but you mentioned something. You said young boys. Why is
Correct.
that a factor with women and young boys? What is it?
Control.
Young boys and young kids. And I'm sure people have heard rumors about what goes on in Hollywood in the entertainment business, but it is a control thing. It's not, it's not pretty when you go into this business. It really isn't. And this is why so many actors and actresses and stuff, when they finally make it big and they reach their spot, they're like, I paid my dues. That's what the heck they're talking about.
That's exactly what they're talking about.
You might have paid your dues on your knees, literally.
That's true.
That is just ugly. Ugly. I mean, it's just sordid, the stuff that she's saying, sordid. And she's not giving these people, these people are basically having she has this platform now, and she has all of these YouTube influencers out there, grappling to get her on their show to boost their ratings, literally. But I know that she's screwed a couple of people over. She told them that she was going to give them exclusives, and this is why I'm saying that she's a little fractured in her mind, because she told people specifically that she was going to give them exclusives, and then she lied or did something. She's just not a healthy woman. She's not healthy. But I think she's desperate, because I think that she's seen, witnessed, and probably did some things that she's grappling with in her mind. And her only way to put the salve on this, whatever it is that she's done, is to expose these people. So it's like she's flushing out this content to try to, it's really, Dad, that's all I gotta say. It's really interesting.
Very, very.
But I will tell you this. I know one thing, and this is something that she said about anybody that goes to any like Hollywood party or anything like that. She said, make sure you always have somebody that that you're very close to around you. She said, don't share nobody's drink, because she said that's like a ploy. She said one of the things that she said is that people will ask to take a sip of your drink, and they'll have some kind of something on their lips. And then when you drink it, it's actually a drug that knocks you out. And she said that if you are affected by this drug, they have the ability to film certain things with you involved in it and use that as collateral on you later on in life.
Wow.
And you used to tell me that about going to industry parties. You said, don't put your drink down nowhere. Always keep your drink in your hand. And if you set your drink down, don't drink the same drink. You did say that. So, I mean, it's just really, crazy what's going on with this. Crazy. Wow. Yeah. But I mean, you didn't say, and one day we'll probably have Uncle Keith on here and we'll talk about that. Yeah.
Definitely. We'll have to get him on, because he's probably got a lot of stories to tell.
Yeah. He's got a lot of stories. So, well, he ain't going to tell up too much. But, he ain't going to say anything. But anyway, Charlene has said that she thinks that gossip sells, which is absolutely right. I mean, this is why we have like a Wendy Williams or anything like that. And for that matter, that we're even talking about this content today. But she says she sounds bitter. I believe that she sounds bitter. She's hurt, but there is something underlying why this woman is exposing all of these people and taking big punches on these people. And I mean, she's exposed some really sordid details about things. Hello, Dad. When you're on the show, you have to turn your phone off.
Well,
and whoever is calling,
that's Uncle Keith.
Uncle Keith. Oh no! No, just tell me no. Don't tell me no. We'll have him come back on. He's like, no, text Uncle Keith. Uncle Keith. I'm sure he has something to say about this. I'm sure he has something to say about this. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. We got found out. We got found out. No, we'll have him on here. But I mean, it's really, it is very interesting, the stuff that she's saying. And some of it I know is true because I know people that have toured with some of these individuals and I know it to be true. Dimples is like, girl, your daddy. He's up here, he's texting right now.
Yeah, tell her she needs to show him how to get onto the network.
Oh. But anyway, we're going to move on. We're going to leave this right here. And then we will talk to Uncle Keith at some point so he can talk about being in the music industry. But one of the things that we really wanted to feature here is that I wanted my audience to get to know who you were. And I'm sure like a lot of our family and our friends and stuff know about you. But Dad, outside of you being a pharmacist, you were also in a singing group in the late 60s and early 70s called the MONTCLAIRS. And all of us, you know, growing up, you know, we listened to this music. It was kind of weird having your dad as somebody in a music group and having all these guys around and looking at them as uncles, you know. But you know, Dad, how did that happen that you got into the MONTCLAIRS? What was it that got you there?
Well, it was, you know, you have like defining moments in your life. And I guess the biggest one, I grew up in a small town, Alton, Illinois. Shout out to Alton. I love it and still love it. And
by the way, the most haunted city in the whole United States. We're going to get into that one day. Go ahead.
Well, we have a lot of best kept secrets that come out of Alton. But your mother and I were married in high school and had you and your sister Stacy, and you know how young marriages, they don't don't work. So we lasted about 5 years. Anyway, we got separated.
One day we'll go into detail about that.
Yeah, that's another story. We got separated, and I had a choice of moving to Springfield, Illinois, with an older brother there, or moving down to East St. Louis, where my brother Keith had moved to. So I chose East St. Louis, and that way I could stay in the area. And he had a little group down there that he was fiddling around with called the MONTCLAIRS. They were in junior high. I was much older than them. And he asked me, did I want to get in the group with them so I could bring some stability, because he knew I liked to sing, because I always sang all my life. And joined in with them, and the rest was history. And we were together like 15 years.
Wow. That's interesting, Dad. That's interesting. I mean, what was it about what happened when you joined the group? I mean, when did you all knew that this was what the model of the group that you all were going to be, that it was going to be what you know, was that what you envisioned happening?
I actually, I would say, just after meeting those guys, the first time I saw talent in every one of them, and especially Phil. And Phil could write, and he knew a little bit about music, and I just knew they had something special, and felt it, and it was something that I thought I'd like to just go ahead and see what it was all about, and that's what I pursued for the next 15 years.
Oh wow! And when you got to the group, did y'all all mesh together, or what happened?
Well, they all knew each other. I was like an outsider because I was older and I was Keith's brother and had moved in from Alton. So I had to earn my respect with the group. And it took a while, but I think, towards the end that we all gelled and made a lot of beautiful music during that time. And I would not change a thing about what I did with them, music we did together.
So are you saying that caused a little animosity in the group?
It did. It was always there. Up until the time that we parted with Keith and moved on. And I did side with them in going on and making the move together as a group. And yeah, it was a little difficult.
Like what? Come on, give some details. Come on, why are you trying to be all PC, Dad? Come on now. Tell us, give us the real gritty, nitty gritty. And by the way, I actually found this cover. This is in Japan. This is how far you all went with your success. That this is like record in Japan. And may I also add that that you all are like the top 10 of lowrider groups. People who listen to lowrider, like a lot of the Chicano population that listen to lowrider music, y'all are up there in their top romantic music realm. I will say that. Yes. Wow. Yes.
Well, yeah, we had quite a run. I think we had a #1 song like 5 years in a row. We would have a #1 song in the St. Louis market and other markets for each of the songs that we would put out. And that ran from 1970 all the way up to 1976. So
Uncle Dennis said that y'all sang in the kitchen for supper. Charlene wants to know how many people were in the group. So there were 5 of you all in the group, right?
There were 5 originally, and Scotty, he left the group right at the first time we recorded our first album. He left, and then we went on the road with just 4 of us. Basically, from what most people remember, just 4 MONTCLAIRS.
Well, I have a little bit of footage that they actually did like a little excerpt on you for a show in St. Louis. Now, let me see if I can share that content with the audience. Let's see. Maybe this is it. Okay, let's share this with the audience.
All right.
Okay, now we're standing in front of Hudson Embassy Records at 3818 Page. Hudson has been in the community for a little bit over 60 years. They service East St. Louis and the St. Louis and the county surrounding areas. And on any given day, you can come and buy music from Muddy Waters, Etta James, Fontella Bass, Dramatics, MONTCLAIRS.
We were a 5-part harmony group on mostly all of our recordings, but when we went out to actually tour, most of our touring was done with 4 members.
The MONTCLAIRS' unique and soulful sound caught the attention of a St. Louis radio personality at KXOK. His name, Nick Charles. Nick Charles worked with other local talents such as Johnny Rabbit and many such Nick for bringing the Beatles in town.
He had a label and it was called the Arch Label, and my brother Keith brought us the group over, and they were like distributed by Stax, it was subsidiary of Stax or whatever, but they had a local record
Debuting in 1958, the St. Louis Hop was a popular dance TV show that featured some of music's biggest acts.
After we spent about a year with the Arch label and it didn't work out on that, started out with Oliver's Vanessa label, and we had the record All I Really Care About Is You, and it did so well that it was picked up by Jewel Paula Records on the national level, and that's who we signed for 5 years.
As the popular saying goes, what comes up must come down. During the late 70s into the early 80s, the group could not hold a deal, and frustration set in.
After maybe our last record that we did, it was called Baby, You Know I'm Gonna Miss You. That was 1976. We fiddled around and tried to get with other companies. We had even tried to sign with the Emotions father. he had a production company, and we decided we didn't want to go that route. And probably towards the late 70s, we were all probably getting a lot frustrated. And our lead singer, Phil Perry, decided to go to LA on his own and take the material. And after that, he signed his own record deal and took Kevin out of the group, and that became Perry and Sandlin, and that was the end of the MONTCLAIRS, 1980.
Oh, Dad. That, I'm sad that it ended up being that way. But I have to tell you, Dad, there are plenty of people out there that still appreciate this music. I have 3 stories that I definitely will tell, and I'll give like the Reader's Digest version of the bandwidth that the MONTCLAIRS had as far as a group, like how far they went. I mean, I literally had something happen to me when I was a flight attendant. That's the first thing that happened to me when I was a flight attendant. So when I was a flight attendant, I was flying a trip to London. I'll never forget this. I was on a trip to London, and I was with a guy in first class. I was in business class with this gentleman. And, when you're in London, it's like an 8-hour trip or whatever. So people, you're talking, you're just making conversation and stuff. And shout out to all of my flight attendant friends out there, my sisters and brothers out there. I'm thinking about y'all. But a lot of times, you just have conversations with people. I mean, one of the things that flight attendants are built for is the fact that you are able to actually speak to people on all different levels and to discuss anything. They are by far some of the smartest people I know. And so I'm watching, I'm on this trip, and I started talking to this gentleman in first class, and in business class, and I was just talking about my family. And I said something about, oh yeah, my dad was part of this group in the 70s. And, they had a group out, and they had a song, Hey You, that was out. And he said, Hey You, he goes, what group was your dad in? I said, my dad was in a group called the MONTCLAIRS. This dude almost lost his freaking mind. He almost started crying. He goes, your dad was part of the MONTCLAIRS? And I go, yes, he was part of the MONTCLAIRS. He said they had a song called Hey You, Don't Try to Fight It. I was like, yes, that's one of the songs. He goes, oh my God, what happened to them? They were like the hottest, group. And I was like, they, like a lot of groups, they just didn't survive the 70s. They just didn't survive it. Mm-hmm. So, or just, what happened a lot of times, the kind of things that occur. 13143. Okay. Dad.
Okay. All right.
Oh my goodness, it's so loud. Anyway, okay. That's all right. So he literally started crying almost. He literally started crying. He goes, they don't make music like that anymore. And the second incident that occurred is, and we're actually going to have him on the show next week, is my friend Harry, who's an actor friend of mine. He and a friend of mine, another friend of mine by the name of Pam, we went out for my birthday, and Harry got a new Jeep. And so we went out to the car to look at his Jeep. And Harry, did some DJing at the time, and he does do DJing right now. And so I'm looking through his catalog of CDs, and I come across the MONTCLAIRS, their album. I come across it in their CD. And I was like, what you doing with this? What you know about this? He goes, oh my God, Leslie. He said, this is like the best group that you've never heard of. And I started laughing. And I was like, well, what do you like about the group? And he's like, oh my gosh, they use all the vocals, the harmony, the live music behind the music. And he goes, they just don't make music like this anymore. So I literally took it. It was this album, that cover right here. And there was another, like a fold out on the inside. I put it up to my face because there was a picture of you there. And I was like, does this look familiar to you? Does anything look familiar? And he's like looking at it. And I said, if you could say that one of these people was my father, who would you pick? He picked Scotty. He picked Scotty as my dad. But I said, no. I said, look at the guy with the glasses. And he's like, oh, yeah, well, he said, I could kind of see the resemblance there. I said, this is my dad. He would not believe me. He would not believe me. He's like, you're lying. I had to actually open up the album cover and show that Keith's name was there. It said FRYE on it. And then that was it. Literally, he's like, what happened to this group? He goes, what happened to them? I said, one day I'm going to introduce you to my dad and you all can talk about stuff like this. Or actually, Harry's going to be on this show next week talking about that particular incident. And the last incident that occurred is that when I lived in Queens, I lived in a house where there were 3 levels to the house. We all had our own apartment. And I went to my neighbor Wanda's house for a barbecue. And her brother-in-law was there. And he, I don't know how we got onto the subject of the MONTCLAIRS, but I'm telling you, this guy brought to tears. And he was saying, I can remember the moment I heard their music. He goes, it was a different time. He goes, it's a different era. He goes, their music was just full of love. And he goes, I remember the first girlfriend I had. I remember the first romance I had listening to this music. He said that music was perfection. I literally had to go downstairs and make him a copy of y'all's music and give it to him. This man almost cried. He almost cried. So the music was so beautiful, Dad. It was so good. Was there ever any discussion of you all trying to get back together at some point?
Well, we tried 2 or 3 times to talk about us reuniting and coming back together, but I think people's personalities had moved on, and things were different than they were then, and it just never did happen for us. Never did.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yeah, and right now,
because when y'all were together, it was beautiful. And people will say that, and they will contest to that. And I'm sure that anybody that's watching right now in the audience would basically say the same thing. You all were top notch as a group, and could compete with anything that was out there, like the Shy Lights or any of those people, the Stylistics. Y'all could compete definitely with Phil's vocals, y'all's harmonies.
Well, I felt that we were just as good as any group that we ever performed with, or any group that was out there during that time, or better. I just think that we did not have a strong record company behind us to push us out there like we probably should have been. But as far as anyone who had seen us perform or were around us knew that we were top notch and that we were a great group. Great group.
So when the group disbanded, though, Kevin and Phil, they had their own little group together. So they actually wrote most of the music, right?
Phil wrote, I would say, probably 80-90% of all the music. And he was a great writer, and still is, and is still a great performer. He's a smooth jazz artist now, and he's probably made about 20 albums since he started doing the smooth jazz thing, and he's still performing today.
Yeah, if anybody doesn't know, Bill Perry is a jazz artist now that has a successful career as a jazz artist, probably renowned. He came out with a song that was Aretha Franklin. He redid Aretha Franklin's "Call Me," and that was just like the end all, the beat all. That was it.
Number one record.
Like number one record, exactly. So he became big with that. It became huge,
Yeah, very.
But yeah, very much so. So yeah, he's still out there. He's still doing the grind, as they would say. I don't know what to put it that way.
I talk to him probably a couple of times a month, and hopefully we'll be able to get him on the show here with us, and you can have an interview with him too.
I can't wait.
Yeah, we're going to do that. I
can't wait.
Yeah,
we definitely can. So what do you see is going to happen with this, Dad? What do you feel like? What are y'all going to do with this? Is this going to end up being anything else one day? Are you all going to possibly do write a book about it, a tell-all book? I mean, what do y'all plan on doing with this?
I don't know what they're planning on doing, but maybe if I could slow down a little bit, because I still work.
Yeah.
But I would love to maybe put a documentary together or write a book about my experiences with the group and from 1969 to 1980. And hopefully maybe I'll be able to do that someday soon.
Well, I hope you do, Dad. I mean, definitely the people want to hear this story. This is kind of like, kind of similar to like the 5 Heartbeats. That's what I can remember it being like.
Very much.
Yeah, Brad.
Yeah.
I remember, this is very interesting because I remember once going to see one of your shows, and you could corroborate this with me, Dad. I remember going to see one of your shows, and it was at a high school, I think.
Okay.
And you after we went afterwards, Stacy and I were actually sitting on the edge of the stage, I remember, and you sang "Put Your Love in the Layaway." Remember that song?
Yeah, I remember. We used to do the
the Isley song, right? Mm. We went backstage afterwards, and you had like a lot of I wouldn't call them groupies. They were fans behind. Yeah. And one girl asked if she could kiss you, and she kissed you, and I actually punched her.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yes. So I punched this lady, and she probably didn't know what happened. She's like, this little girl come over here and punch her. I said, don't you kiss my daddy like that. Yes, I remember that. That's what you get for having kids come to your show, your children come to your show.
Yeah, that's true.
She was disrespectful anyway. She should have been doing that right in front of your kids. Just disrespectful. But anyway, I mean, it's funny, but that's exactly what happened. I can remember that happening. Mm-hmm. So, if there's any type of music that you like out there today, Dad, is there anything that you are listening to that,
I'm not really up on a lot of the pop music, but I know you probably are. I should be asking you, what do you like out there today?
Well, I have a very eclectic. Sorry, I'm doing something in the background because I had a little presentation set up, but okay, we just gonna have to we have to roll with the punches because it is live. I personally, outside of liking rock music and alternative music, and I have to say that, a shout out to my husband, Sean, who's out there, who's the baddest bass player. Okay, Dad, you got to turn that off. And if it's family calling, y'all know better to be calling in the middle of this show. You'll get your turn. So anyway, I of course listen to rock music. My husband is in a rock band called Black Dawn, and I do give him a lot of support on that. They make really good, but they're more, I would say, hardcore or metal, heavy metal group and stuff like that. But the other thing that I'm have a fascination with, and I'm actually kind of blushing to say this, that I am fascinated with K-pop music right now. I'm fascinated with it. If you ask me why I like K-pop music, well, I mean, most people who know me, I've always had a fascination with anything Asian culture, everything. But I love this music so much. I totally love the production quality, the dancing. The people are so pretty, even the men. They're so pretty. And just the fact that it's not so graphic, like the music that we get, that we have to consume here in America. It's just not. It is hip hop. It is a combination of hip hop, R&B, and everything like that. And one thing I could say about other countries, like if you go to Europe or Asia or whatever, they really they become aficionados of our music, but to the point that it's like hardcore, pure love and appreciation of our music. So when they actually recreate our music, it means that they've actually studied it. They've actually listened to everything. They are more knowledgeable about our music than we are sometimes. Something that we take for granted, they're eating it up, over there. So that has been my fascination. I'm kind of new to the genre. I used to listen to it a long time ago, but I just now started getting back into it. And I can't tell you why or how I jumped back into it. I just decided that, this is it. I think it's when I'm on my, I have another show that I do with a group of people called the Bit and Apple TV. And then we go to a lot of these cons and events and stuff like that. And I think that what happened was a lot of times we go to these cons and people dress in cosplay. They dress in cosplay and they listen, they actually lip sync to Asian music. Okay. They lip sync, they perform, they do the dances and everything. They're just that detailed. They actually look at everything. They actually do everything. And K-pop is not very well known except for BTS, which has had crossover potential. That's actually become big. That's actually gone to all of the to the award shows and all that other kind of stuff. BTS is what everybody knows, and everybody, I don't know if people know, BTS has a song out called Dynamite, and that's just a glimpse of the appeal that it has to Americans, young teeny boppers, and probably old women like me, which in Korea I would be considered called a nona because I'm like the older big sister, or basically the older woman that likes younger guys. And we can say that my husband is 13 years younger than I am. So
that's a cougar.
Huh?
You're a cougar.
Dad, I'm not a cougar, Dad. I'm not a cougar. Oh well. If I am, then I'll own that. I'll own it then. Yeah. But anyway, Rachel said, hi, Chloe. Please tell Chloe I said hi. And Dennis says that you should do the movie about the MONTCLAIRS. If anybody's interested in helping us create that script, please let us know. DM me or my dad, and we'll see if we can do a screenplay on that, because it would be a very good screenplay. I would say it would rival or be better than the 5 Heartbeats. Definitely. X-rated. Why it gotta be X-rated? Why it gotta be X-rated? Oh Lord. Well, we would have to change the name of y'all's dogs because their dogs, they had 2 dachshunds when I was growing up, and one's name was Reefer. They named their dachshund Reefer. Now, how did that happen, by the way, Dan, while I prepped this video?
How did that happen? Well, when I picked Reefer up, Reefer was a puppy, and I sent 2 of the MONTCLAIRS to get the dog and keep the dog for me that afternoon because I had to work. That would be Phil Perry and Kevin Sandler.
You just told them.
By the time I got off from work and I came and got the dog couldn't stand, on its own 4 feet. So what they had been doing, whatever they had been doing, he had gotten part of it, or they blew it in his face or what. But that's when we decided to name the dog Reefer. That's so. In other words,
you're saying that they were consumers of a now legalized.
Yeah, it's legal now.
Yeah, it's legal now for them to have it, basically. Basically. Well, that was the 70s, y'all. So I ain't gonna be mad at y'all. I know that that's the 70s. But one thing that we didn't do, Dad, and we definitely need to do this, is I really want to listen to some of y'all's music real quick. And then we'll go into what we've been listening to. Let me see if I can share some of this content. For those of you who have not heard anything. So this one was, that's your show, that movie. So this was Hung Up on Your Love, and this is the one that I'm going to basically share this one, so because we have to move forward. But one of the things that I will say about this particular song, and the fact that there have been a lot of people out there that have actually used y'all songs.
Yeah, we've been sampled a lot.
They have sampled your music, and at one point, I guess next week, I'll find all the sampled music that has been out there. I hope y'all getting paid for that sampled music.
No, I don't think so. But yes, that would be interesting.
Yes. I'm gonna find how many people have sampled the MONTCLAIRS music out there. But I'm gonna share this real quick. This song right here has probably the baddest bass line ever in a song. The baddest bass line. And we're gonna just show a little bit of that and maybe listen to the this song is Hung Up on Your Love. This is by far one of my favorite MONTCLAIRS songs, and we'll feature something else later.
You got me strung out, mama. I need your love. It keeps me going strong day to day. Now that I had you, I'm hung up on your love and strung up too. I keep believing that
Okay, I gotta stop this because they're gonna YouTube, Facebook is gonna probably make us quiet that song because we don't have the rights to the song. But I just wanted to hear a little bit of it. That is by far one of the baddest bass lines. I want to listen to that just one more time so people can hear that bass line. That bass line is bad.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody did sample that bass line, by the way.
Okay,
You know somebody was gonna jump on.
that was very popular over in England and back in the disco era. It was.
Yep.
Song.
Well, I love that song. Love that song. Yep. And it sounds like something. It sounds like something that would be in Austin Powers. I have to tell you. Every time I think about that, I think about Austin Powers. I don't know why. With my crazy mind, but yes, that's what it reminds me of. It reminds me of Austin Powers. So anyway, let's get back to K-pop. So the latest thing that I've been looking at is people that do reaction videos. So one of the things that we're going to do on this show, Dad, is that we're going to have reaction videos to some of the new music out there, and I'm going to be introducing you to this music for the first time. That is going to be all kinds of music, but mainly K-pop. I want to see what your perception of K-pop. What do you think about it? If you even have an ear for it, because some people don't like it. You know, I don't know why they don't like it. One of the things that I love about K-pop too is the transitions in the music. You just don't really know where the transitions are going to go in the music, but the transitions are just like dope. How they do it, production quality, video, and everything. Mostly the dancing and stuff. I mean, it's a show. It's definitely a show. A video is a show. So the latest thing that I have been watching is a guy by the name of Kai. Now, Kai, from what I understand, is he's of course a South Korean singer. He's a model, actor, and a dancer. He was in the South Korean Chinese group called EXO, and it's a subgroup of another group called XOK, which is another super group called Super M. So I'm not really sure how all of that plays out, and maybe our audience would kind of explain to me how they do things, particularly when it comes to K-pop or whatever. But there's always like a storyline written about each of these characters. There's a storyline, or they have like a superpower, or they have like a certain thing, a symbol or something like that. They really give great thought to what they produce when they produce something. So Kai, from what I understand in his video, and this is what I've gathered from some of the reaction videos that I've seen, he has a symbol. He has a symbol that's his, and he also has a superpower, which is a teleportation. So teleportation is throughout his video, you know. Anyway, we're going to actually look at Kai's latest video. It's called MMMH. MMMH. Okay. This is apparently the group has separated and does solo albums when they're like on break, basically, which is like what they do. They do that and then they come together for stuff. So this is his like breakout solo album. What I have watched, because I haven't actually watched this video, is that he has they produced something called like a mini teaser of his whole album. The album, from what I can hear, is dope, but it is for mature audiences. And I'm not saying in the sense that it's got content, but it's grown folks music. That's all I gotta say. It's grown folks music. The music has been like dope in the whole thing. And one thing that I have to introduce you to, Dad, when you're watching this video is that in K-pop, there is no such thing as like a certain clothing or something like that identifies with the sex. They wear just whatever because they appreciate beauty. They wear beautiful clothing. So you're gonna see some things in here that you're gonna be like questioning it. I'm just gonna let you react. You can talk over the, definitely please talk over the video because we can't watch this video without talking over it, or we're gonna, our YouTube is, Facebook is gonna make us quiet quiet the music. So, you know, because we don't own the rights to it. But one of the things that I'm definitely gonna say right now before we even watch this music is I don't own the rights to this music. Okay, we're gonna put that on there first. I don't want nobody saying nothing about us. Actually, let me put it on the ticker tape. All right. All right, so without further ado, here is Kai's new video called Let's share this video. Dad, mute yourself too, because I want to make sure that everybody, no, don't mute yourself because I want you to comment. Don't mute yourself. All right, here we go. Oh, I'm already liking this view. What does he have on his head? Is that a do-rag?
I'm not sure. Let me see.
Oh,
wow.
That's hard. Oh, what's this move? Oh, ooh. That's the do-rag he has on his head. Only he could pull up that blue sweater like that. That baby blue sweater and them red pants. Oh, there he goes, teleporting. Oh.
Yeah, and he's changing outfit.
Hey! Oh, that's a Michael Jackson move right there.
Right.
Hey! Hey! Chest out.
Okay.
Uh-oh. Ooh, look at his ass.
That's a nice move.
Oh, I love this video. Look at that, the water. Is he running away? Uh-oh. Is he? Oh, what? That's wrong. Oh.
Well, I can't tell the girls from the boys. That's my problem.
They're all pretty. Woo. Hey.
Yeah.
That's gorgeous. Ooh. Oh, look at that. Wow, wow. I'm impressed. I'm definitely impressed by that. That
Well,
is just like what,
I can say it is definitely different.
wow. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. The production of it, and the hit, he was hitting. That beat was hitting.
Yeah.
I love this move right there. This move. I love that move. I'm gonna do that. It was like so smooth. But that's because you have to have abs to do that. My stomach will be hurting for weeks if I try to do that. That was nice. That's nice. What did you think about that, Dad?
Well, that's probably something that I would have to really look at continually to try to get into it. But production-wise, it was produced very well. It was.
Yeah. And what did you think about the video? The video is so gorgeous.
Yeah, it was well done. It was well done.
Yeah, definitely gorgeous. Yeah. Definitely gorgeous. I mean, I really love. I can't wait to hear. I've been reading like reviews about the album itself, and I heard that the album is really good. So maybe we'll get to look at something else that he had. But the little mini movie that he had to introduce his album was good. But hey, Kai just got on my radar. That's just like, that song is jamming. See, I told you that's like grown folks music. I don't know, I don't know little kids. I'm looking at some of the words that were in English there, but that's definitely mature folks music. But that was slamming. But did you notice that how they have embraced R&B and hip hop?
Oh yeah, that's what I was definitely noticing. That they're good mimics of that kind of R&B.
Good appreciators of that music, definitely. Mm-hmm. What I've heard is that a lot of hip hop artists from back in the day have gone over to Korea and actually are creating this music for them, like Teddy Riley. So some of the stuff that you hear might be out of step with what we've done here in the United States as far as hip hop, but it is banging over there. And it's better production quality. Plus, they put a lot of money into these videos.
Okay, now I understand. Yeah. That's very possible.
They're making racking up. We may not have heard about Teddy Riley in a while, but he is definitely producing some music. Mm-hmm. And if he's producing anything for BTS or EXO or any of these groups that are big, in the K-pop world, he's racking in some dough. Definitely.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Well, Dad, we are actually 5 minutes over. Okay. In our content today. So next week we'll have something else interesting to talk about. I really appreciate you being here with me today, Dad. And
I just want to give a shout out to the A.
Oh, Dad, please don't try to be hardcore. He means Alton. He means Alton, Illinois. Hello, family in Alton. Yes, yes. The most haunted town in the United States. It is. One day we'll do a little segment on that.
Yes, we will.
Yeah,
And we'll
yeah.
maybe do a little segment on all the entertainers and special people that have come out of the A. Okay.
Out of the A, Dad,
Yeah,
make
that's
sure
right.
that you clarify what the A is, because people could take A as other things.
Okay. Out of Alton, Illinois.
They could say, they could think of something else, you know. But yes, out of Alton, Illinois. Hello to family, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. We will be continuing this every Saturday at 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time and 4 o'clock Central Standard Time. We have not actually gotten our post up and everything like that, but we will be able to share some of our content with you on Instagram and of course Facebook and stuff like that. We are a part of Cliff Dive Productions, which is my production company. So if you are looking to look at this video again or to revisit it, please go to our Facebook page on Cliff Dive Productions and enjoy some of the videos that are there. We also are at Cliff Dive Productions at YouTube. So please also go enjoy some of the content that is there. We love you all.
We love you.
We'll see you next week. We'll have some more fun content to talk about. Maybe bring in some family members to come in and talk. We are a unique family. We FRYE family. We are a unique family. So I'm very happy to be here with you, Dad. Love you, miss you,
Love you.
and I'll talk to you soon. Okay.
Okay. All right.
All right. All right,
See
you
you.
all. Have a good night.
Good
See
night.
you.